man, it was so fun. Why do you keep spilling? What are you trying to drink like that?
I have such a tiny mouth.
The bottle's too big.
I can't fit things in my mouth.
I need a bigger bottle because this is too small, and I'm so used to bigger.
I'm so
used to big.
I open wide.
Yeah, I open too wide. Yeah,
it's like it happens so often.
Muscle
that
memory.
I get things in my face all the time.
Yeah, it's muscle memory for you at this point. I'm worried. I'm worried you're gonna spit water on the equipment.
It's we have a Patreon now. We can buy new stuff.
We can say whatever we want. We can talk about dicks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's your favorite dick size to suck?
Wow, what a funny question. What's your favorite dick size to suck?
There's an option.
One that's like manageable, I guess. Like not too much stuff going on.
So I actually don't have a cool cinematic beginning for this episode. Yet. But we should start where we left off.
Okay.
You heard someone enter the building.
Okay, yeah. And I slammed the trunk closed that had a bunch of fucking gold in it.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that before or after the episode. You were like, that's not what I thought it was going to be.
Do you want to say what that's for, or should we...
I mean, I think... So here's my thinking behind that is that money can be used because you're a single player in this, a solo player basically, which means you won't have that many resources, and it costs a lot of money to make upgrades to Castle Egerkrans, especially if we want plumbing.
It's expensive.
It's actually extremely expensive.
Yeah, I bet. I fucking bet.
It's like putting in fiber. Are you doing that too? No, anyway. So I'm basically giving Eliza
a jumping off point.
Yeah, like you can spend a lot of money, and then we will figure out like to make sure that it's balanced. But I kind of want you to be able. This is like the origin story of Castle Egerkrans. Like I want this. So cool. Even if Eliza dies, or you don't want to do this anymore, it could be fun to have like other offshoot adventures. Yeah, and we always have like the same.
We talked about this. Yeah, just a peek behind the curtain. Like we talked about this game with me being a solo player and ways that we can work with it, but if something were to happen, other options and stuff. But I love the idea that we're turning it into Vaesen is becoming like a legacy game, because we didn't really utilize the headquarters previously.
No, like at least by the rules.
We didn't follow the rules.
No. What are rules?
But this is really fun for me because I love legacy games like Pendragon and stuff like that, where you have like a lineage.
Oh, really? I would love to hear more about Pendragon.
It's fun. Those who might know it, it's another TTRPG, and it's sort of like Arthurian legend, but like you have like a family name and a crest, and you like continue on years and years and years, generations of your son and your daughter who marry off, and like it's kind of like The Sims or like a colony builders sim game. But yeah, this is very exciting to me. I don't mean to detract from the drama of this moment of the door opening, but to explain, we're gonna go with the headquarters stuff. It's gonna be very fun. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and that's why we took so much time to just sort of discover the rooms, and yet we haven't discovered all of them yet. However, you were just interrupted. Someone has entered the building.
And their voices from far away, I learned.
Yes.
She doesn't immediately yell out like, hello.
Yeah.
So she's going to get up and quickly walk back to the staircase and back down. She feels like she's in trouble, even though she's allowed to be here and supposed to be here. But yeah, she'll go back down the stairs.
Hello? And then you see a plump little man is standing in the doorway, holding his hat. Hi. My name is Algot Frisk. I've heard that my lady is the new owner of Castle Egerkrans, and I was wondering if there's perchance a need for my services.
Pleasure. And she walks up and gives him her hand.
He takes it and he bows, and you notice that he's dressed as in like a penguin suit. Like he's no, but like
yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
he's well dressed.
He's very well dressed and very sweet, like sweet looking. He looks not very tall, quite round.
Okay.
Rosy cheeks.
Pardon, what was your name again?
My name is Algot Frisk.
Algot. Pleasure. Eliza Andrews.
Eliza Andrews, you must be... I am very excited to meet you, my lady. You must be the owner of Castle Gyllenkreutz.
I suppose I am.
Have you not been here before?
No, I just arrived the other day, and I received the key, and I thought that I would be shown about, but apparently that's not the tradition, so I came on my own.
You see, people tend to shy away from this place. It has a long history of previous owners, and, well, I won't get into any details and bore you with that, but may I come in?
Oh, please do. I would say I apologize for the mess, but it's not mine.
He steps in.
What was the... Vampire!
Exactly.
What was the last time that someone was here? This dust is thick.
Yeah, he looks very disapprovingly around him. Well, so I worked here as a young lad.
Oh.
Back in the beginning of the century, but and then I'm not quite sure what happened.
You don't know about the current, the previous owner?
No, I was shunned from this place. I shall not speak ill of anyone, of course. They had their reasons. But before that, me and my family have been serving this castle for a long, long time.
Perhaps you knew my Aunt Christina?
A shadow covers his face.
I didn't know her well. She was my father's sister. We lost contact with her for a while. My father passed, and she passed, I suppose, not too long ago. I received a letter.
She's passed. Okay. Okay is not the word.
Okay, she also goes,
okie
dokie.
Okie dokie.
And she did pass, right? Like, the letter was like she died. Okay.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I'm so sorry for your loss.
I appreciate that, but as you can see, I never visited. We were not close, so to speak. And I myself am a full-grown adult at this point, so what's done is done. The past is the past. Perhaps, Algot, you could show me around. Actually, there were a few rooms that I couldn't open. Funny enough, and she holds like a huge ring of keys, despite this.
Yeah.
Gives it to him. She kind of doesn't want like responsibility,
exactly.
And she's like, "Thank God this guy's here."
Yeah. He takes them with an experience that would reveal that he knows exactly where every key goes and where it's supposed to be in his pocket. And it's almost as if when he puts it back in his pocket, it's like, this feels good. Christina was actually... Oh, Miss Christina, I believe that when she became the current owner, that's around the time that my services ended. So I actually do not know her.
My apologies. Was she the one who forced you out in that case?
I wouldn't put it like that, but we had different ideas on how things should be run, and she wanted to do a certain way, and the previous owners wanted to do it in a different way, and I try not to get too involved. You have a sense that he gets very involved.
The way he took those keys, I was like, he
might not, but he has a man of high integrity.
Yeah.
So he will, if you have a sense that you could trust him, like if you told him a secret, he would keep it forever. But he is one of those men who have a lot of secrets.
Sure.
And wants to know everyone.
Algot, if I may ask, what exactly did you do at this mansion?
Well, I'm a butler.
Ah, of course. I should have known.
No, but I'm happy that you would ask, that you would think of me as perhaps something else than that. But no, I'm a butler. And I am so apologetic of the state that you find this normally quite beautiful castle in.
No, but of course, clearly no one's been here in quite a while. Curious though, there's so many artifacts, might I say, interesting finds from, I'm no archaeologist, but there appears to be things far flung into the past, as well as things quite current.
Yes, We in our prime, this castle used to house 20-something people. A lot of people have been living behind these walls.
What sorts of people?
You know, anyone really who might have a understanding of invisible things.
She raises her eyebrows.
Invisible things, with in terms of and he's not quite sure how to. He already feels
science?
Like he said.
She says question.
In terms of science, yes, and knowledge.
I
People
noticed,
with a lot of knowledge on things.
Yes, I noticed many pairs of glasses, so to speak.
That might be Albert's. I can't believe he did not bring them with him.
Albert? A guest?
Oh, one of the previous owners back when I was here. But this was a long, long time ago.
And she mental notes because she read the name, Albert.
Yep.
Oh, how interesting. And the lamp, and she points because I assume they haven't walked up yet. This lamp is so peculiar. It's
an electrical lamp. He's as confused as you.
Yes, exactly. You recognized it.
Oh, I don't recognize it. It was not here back when I serviced this house.
I suppose that makes sense. It's quite a while ago.
Yes.
Someone has been here recently, then?
Well, I would assume that it must belong to your aunt.
Funny woman.
She was peculiar. She wasn't, if you forgive me for saying so, she was not quite friendly.
Oh. No, of course. Speak your mind. I'm quite open, and like I said, we were not close. I will not speak ill of the dead, but there were reasons why she moved from London, far away from our family.
She was not Swedish, was she? Because
she... I've never asked. I'm not sure where our family lines cross. As far as I know, my father's father was Eastern European. My father's mother, British. My mother's side, I'm not so sure.
She never spoke to me in Swedish, so I always assumed she was from somewhere else, but...
Well...
Now that I think about it...
My family was quite eclectic. We had our schooling all over. I went to an international school.
Parlez-vous François?
Oui, un petit peu. And that explains the accent. I have a bit of Barcelona and a bit of Madrid. And
Catalan and...
what other Athens. A bit of Athens in me as well. Yeah. But I've only visited Sweden once or twice. Never Uppsala. Is that how you say it?
We're a small country and not quite as luxurious as I'm sure you are more used to.
No, this is quite the reprieve. I've been so busy in London, and this is almost a country getaway.
Well, it certainly could be, with some love and tender care.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to stay here. I'm going to sell it.
You're going to sell it. Of course, my lady. Before you do, though, would you mind sitting down and perhaps have a cup of tea? I am not very good at standing around chatting. I'd rather sit down and talk. See these old knees.
But of course, I would love a spot of tea. Actually, I'm quite parched.
Would you mind? And he points at the fireplace. It's quite cold in here.
Please, I don't mean to make you work, but...
No, it calms me.
Well, then go right ahead, and she like picks up a cushion off a chair and flips it so like the dust side is not up.
Yes. I am truly, truly sorry for the shape the castle is in. It truly could be in its prime.
Oh, don't mind me. I once played in Les Mis. Do you know Les Miserables?
I wish I did. What it sounds French.
It is, and I have no idea if it existed in this time, but it's a show. I'm an actor.
You're an actor?
Yes, and in that show I lived in squabble. I had dust covering me day in, day out, since the tech rehearsals. It's quite eye-opening. I don't mind it now. It reminds me of my time then. Oh, I wish you could have seen it. Quite a magical show.
I can only imagine.
There is a castle on a cloud. Something like that. You should have been there. And she is just like emphatically, I don't know, pointing to her status, but also excited to fucking talk to someone. Because she came to Sweden, didn't know anybody, went here, didn't talk to anybody, doesn't speak Swedish.
He is mesmerized by her.
She like has her hair. Yeah. She pulls her hair to the side.
I forget myself. I'm so sorry, my lady. I did not expect such a powerful woman to. I apologize.
Don't apologize, Algot. No, it's lovely to talk to someone in the English tongue.
Right. The tea was it? I will be right back. He goes away, comes back almost immediately with a wonderful spread. And then you see from the outside that he actually brought a picnic basket, exactly, and a little like a portable tea bag, not the bag, a tea, like a bag with tea,
thermos,
exactly. Yeah. And then he starts a fire and he tries to make things like tries to get some dust off, but it's an impossibility for him to remove all the dust to clean the place in 10 minutes. So you sit down and he pours you some tea. So tell me again, you're an actor, you're a thespian, and you perform in London, and so you're here to just sell the castle then?
Well, I perform all over. I travel quite a bit, keeps me busy, and yes, I received that queer letter, thought nothing of it, but assumed I should come to the property just to see. And now I've seen.
And what do you think? He's desperate.
Oh, God. Well, it certainly could do with some renovations.
Yes.
A modernity. For instance, the plumbing. Or lack thereof.
You see, it was built in the 1600s, this castle.
Wow.
So it's quite old. And we've gone through several renovations, but I could look it up for you.
Well, the other thing is, I don't know how long I'll be in Sweden, so...
The castle could use a patron, someone to look after it.
It does need a lot of staff, though, for the upkeep.
Of course, I have a list of people that I used to work with, and he hands over a long list of like quite 30 people.
She unfurls the parchment. Oh, it goes further.
Yeah. And so here's a budget as well in case you would want to know the cost.
She slides it. Well, you really have put a lot of thought into this.
You see, I was just so very, very excited when I heard that a new owner would come. I did not know that you were going to sell it. You see, when the government takes over these buildings, they tend to become something else. They tend to be either morphed into the university, or the church comes in and
we can't have that.
Yeah, he's just like at the mention of church, he's like, that would be bad, according to him. But you don't really know what that means, or they will tear it down.
That would be dreadful.
Well, that's what I think. Of course, I don't want to influence your opinion on it, but could you perhaps give me some time and I could make it pretty for you, and then you could maybe reevaluate your position of selling it. Of course, it costs money. I have some ideas for how to make money if that is interesting to you.
To make money?
To make money off of Castle Eulenkreuz. You see, Eulenkreuz used to have a reputation of helping people.
Like a hospital, boarding house?
More like investigative bureau.
Pardon?
People would come here when they needed help explaining the unexplainable.
I understand. I saw the psychic's chambers.
Yes, you did see that. I don't know how familiar you are with the invisibles.
You speak of it as if it is a group or persons.
Yes.
Oh.
The way you can see, I guess that's one way of putting it. The invisibles, I like to think of them as our friends that surrounds us.
Huh.
Have you never encountered one?
And she looks off to the side, getting far less boisterous than she has been and far less confident. Perhaps.
And it's like he's suddenly looking right through you.
Perhaps. And when I was younger, fantasies. And I know many psychics and mediums in London proper, and but never, not my specialty.
I once heard a story that certain things would not reveal themselves to you should you not have the heart to see it. Anyway, I am being very forthright, and I'm sorry for that. I just, being back in my old place where I used to have so many memories, fond memories of a time long past, I got excited. But of course, you should do what you need, what you deem to be the best. But once again, let me clean this up for you, together with some of my friends who could come in and help, and perhaps we could revisit this conversation then.
Oh, good. I appreciate your candidness. Honestly, I do. It's much different from the way people in London communicate. So, thank you.
I have Danish background, that's why.
I see. You're so blunt. I quite like that.
Yeah.
I should have known you were a Dane. Let's do that.
But before, let's have some tea, and then I'll walk you through the entire castle.
Lovely.
Yeah. You do. You have tea, and
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
And then what? So, what would you like to know? You've seen the sitting room, obviously, and we have another one right over there.
Yes, actually, I was more curious about. I went upstairs. That's as far as I made it. There were 2 doors that I couldn't open.
We could put storage rooms, I would say. They're probably full of things left there, and it's probably wise that we do not open them yet. From a story standpoint...
Don't even tell me.
Okay. From a game mechanics standpoint, these are rooms that you have not bought yet.
I love it.
But I can tell you now. Because
don't tell me. I don't
okay,
want
okay.
Unless, should I know?
They're not like secret, like weird.
Yeah.
It's
like a library or...
It's a weapons corridor. And then it's an armory.
I also love the NPC being like, I don't think you're supposed to go into that room yet. The door seems locked.
Yeah, there's a bunch of boxes in there.
It's just empty. And there's like weapon racks that are just empty. How weird.
Yeah.
She nods. Storage. That makes sense.
Storage for now. We could repurpose it for something else if you would like. I'm sure I can figure out a way to open it. But just so you know that if you would like to get that's what it's gonna
be.
Weapons, and it's also a workshop. In the core rulebook, there's a bunch of things that explains what they're used to.
Oh, fun! I love that. Perhaps you could walk me through the rest of the house. I haven't made it down this corridor yet. It's quite dark.
That means you haven't seen the library yet, then.
A library, lovely.
Yes. And he takes you through the corridor, through the stairwell room, and then into a door to the right. And there's a big library and a map room.
Wow.
So as you can see, this is where they spent a lot of time with previous owners. And by previous owners, I mean, of course, Hilma of Sudenstjärna. Is that what her name is?
Hilma, she had a name that I didn't write down the rest of it.
I have it somewhere here in my
Hilma,
notes. Hilma.
From.
Sorry.
I hate to shit on the Swedes, but I always go like...
They were, so the previous owners, they were Baroness Katja Kokkola, Professor Albert Redenheim, and Countess Hilma of Sudenstjärna. You need me to repeat that?
No, but I'll ask you later.
Yeah.
Algot, I assume you keep all of these facts, so I'll just check in with you.
They are my friends. I clearly remember them in my head.
Fascinating. And they all opened Egerkrans.
They did not open it, actually. They just inherited it from the previous owners. One of them was Carl Linnaeus, actually. And you would know Carl Linnaeus is like this famous scientist from the 1600s.
Oh, wow.
This was opened a long time ago. And he talks about this history of like the first stone was put down by some contractor named
She falls asleep.
Yeah. It's not very interesting, but it is like you realize that they needed somewhere to gather because they wanted to gather as much information as possible on things that are not quite as they seem.
And she looks around this library after they've been like talking. So all of this then, these books, these are all books on the Invisibles.
They would not have them at display, I don't think. And he takes out one. No, this is a Bible, actually. And then, and this is Robinson Crusoe. No, maybe not written yet.
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, exactly. But you do notice that there's a map room. And
by map room, is it like parchments of maps that and then like a table that you put them out on? Okay.
And like maybe a globe.
Oh, fun.
And the maps are of the entire Nordic region. You notice that there's these scribbles on the maps in the Northern Sea. And then there's like one area close to Finland, or in Finland actually. And it says Ulu.
And she recognizes...
Yeah.
He's talking. I'm sure Algot is like talking and she's like looking, half listening. She sees that and she looks a little closer and interrupts him. What is Ulu?
He gets pale.
It's on the map. I've read this name, this place.
Unfortunately, I do not know. But it's clearly that
he does.
Yeah.
Can I do... I'm going to roll on his ass. Okay, so I have high empathy, which I think why she's even giving Algot the time of day, because she really can feed off his energy. Like, he's wearing his heart on his sleeve about wanting the job, like wanting to hire back his friends, and like he cares. So I think she wants to... Let's see. Okay, my empathies are like manipulation, observation, inspiration. I don't know if maybe manipulation to make him tell me the truth, because I think he knows, and I think he thinks that like she doesn't know or like can't handle it. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's being careful until he knows that she is not
one of them.
Yeah, like here to screw him.
Okay, so I think I want to do manipulation, even though it's just one die.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to notice his reaction.
Wait, it's not one die plus empathy.
So you're right. 5. You're right.
Yeah.
5. So it's 6.
Yeah.
5. 6. Wow. I need an extra die.
Oh my God,
she's so good at empathy. I put it all in empathy on a 5.
First roll of the season.
I'm so excited. And she looks at him, taking in how he's feeling, and she says, "I too have seen things, Algot. I wouldn't stay here to talk to you if I didn't want to know more. You want me to hold on to Egerkrans? Tell me why." And I'm going to roll my dice. Watch this. 2 6s.
Okay,
and then, hold on, even one more. No, that was 1.
Yeah. What was the question?
Look at me when I'm talking to you. She says, you want me to hold on to Egerkrans? I've seen stuff. Tell me why you want me to stay here.
There's been an uptick on human attacks from the Invisibles, or they go by another name, Vaesen. They seem more aggressive. And, well, I always believed the reason why we gathered here was to find peaceful solutions, to coexist with them. And as far as I know, that was the mission of this entire castle and the people who came here. We wanted to find ways to coexist with these beings. However, I was not part of any of the leadership, so it wasn't really up to me, but I supported them best I could. But then you see, one of these situations we learned that in Oulu, in Finland, giants had started attacking humans in broad daylight. Giants. And this group, the people that lived here, we call them the Society, but back then Order of Artemis, they planned this big operation to figure out what happened. Now, I don't exactly know what went wrong, or how, but nearly all of them were killed.
My God.
And only 3 survived, and those were the owners, Hilma, Katja, and Albert.
Albert, the other one.
The other one. And so they came back. They were gonna rebuild what we had started, what Carl Linnaeus had started, what we all had, what was our life mission, what I gave basically my life for. But then they disappeared. The castle was passed on to another owner, and then another owner, and eventually your aunt. And that's when she shut it all down.
She shut it down?
Yes. As far as I know, I was not privy to any of it. She did not let me in. People go mad, I see it happen, and that's what I have assumed have happened to my friends. It's been so long, I can't believe it's been so long.
You're not in contact with the 3 who survived?
No. Hilma, she went north, I think. Albert, he went to Norway. He was obsessed with the Northern Lights, so he was going to go there. And the Baroness, she went to sea, is the rumor. You know what hurts the most is that no one told me anything.
I'm so sorry, Algard. That must have been horrible for you.
I think people are used to me. They don't realize that I do care about them, but I most of all care about the house. And so I forge bonds with them, the people who take care of me. I mean, the house. I guess what I want is to find people who will be caretakers of this house. They don't have to do anything that they deem dangerous or bad. I just want the house to be what it once was. A safe haven for the people who are different.
A noble charge. I think I'm beginning to understand.
It's been so long. It was such a long time ago. The massacre, as they call it. The Ulu massacre.
And she looks back at the map with Ulu circled.
Yeah. I don't even know what happened. I just know that many of them perished. And without a good leader, any cause is doomed.
That's true. In the theatre, there's a role of a stage manager. And though usually they are behind the curtain, running the show in the background, well respected, but misunderstood. And the audience never sees them. But those who know. And she kind of nods at Algert. You, my good man, are like a stage manager. And I could be the leading lady, playing the role of the new owner of Gillenkreuts. Perhaps we could put an ad in the newspapers inviting those of artistic minds, intellectual minds, who might need room and board. I don't know, you could write it up. And perhaps the money we could use to renovate and keep it open for those that need it.
I think that sounds like a splendid idea.
And the tax write-offs will be incredible.
That's what I was going to say. Does that mean I get the job then?
And she's like saying this, walking around. Yeah. It's as if she's walking, like downstage. Like she's just like imagining. What was that?
Do I get the job then?
The job.
Will I be hired as a butler once again for Castle Egerkrans under Lady Eliza Andrews?
Yes.
May she be blessed forever.
Oh, thank you. Well, someone with your understanding of the castle certainly needs to be my right-hand man. Before we hire other staff, of course. I trust your judgment and your list.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of work we have to do. I'm sure I'll have to do a lot of paperwork. But I'll write to my husband.
Perhaps if I could start the recruitment in the next coming weeks. Would you mind?
Soon. We should. We need to get the entire place in order before we can put out any ads in the papers.
No, I meant recruitment for the staff who will clean out the house.
Oh, yes, of course.
But
yes.
I will, of course, help you with the recruitment for...
No. We need to get it in order before we even think about people staying here. It's clearly a little... Yes, we need to clean it. I'll write to my husband and let him know that I'll be gone for a little while, at least.
Of course. I can prepare one of the rooms for you, if you would like.
That would be lovely. Perhaps Hilma's. Or the room, the biggest room. I don't know who lived there.
Yes, no, Hilma. Hilma is the owner of that room. Oh, you've seen it already then.
I might have peeked.
Ah, of course. No, you are the owner, so technically everything in that you can choose whichever room you want.
And a name. We'll be needing a name. You said before it was the society?
Yes.
Okay. And then what was it called?
In its origin, it was Order of Artemis.
A bit doomful, don't you think?
I agree. It's also Greek. Or Roman. Artemis, wasn't he a Roman god?
Oh, Greek.
A Greek god.
Greek. Perhaps we could call it the Society of Artists and Intellectuals of Tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Site. S-A-I-T. Vague enough. Open enough. And when we do the recruitments, perhaps you can suss them out, so to speak. We'll need the right people staying here. But we need to leave it vague enough so that they'll actually answer the ad in the newspaper. I don't quite think you can say, need those who have seen giants.
No. You know, I have a method of finding out who can see and who cannot see. And he leaves at that.
Bye.
And you notice that you're not clear, but was the door even open when he left or not? And then, but you don't really think about it any more than that.
I'm so busy thinking about my castle.
Exactly. But the camera might notice that Algot could walk through walls.
Oh, God.
And that's the end of the episode. I think,
I love that he, says goodbye, and she's, facing this way. Yeah. He walks past her, so she just doesn't see him. And later at night, when she goes back to where she's staying, the hotel or whatever, she thinks about that moment. She's running through everything from the day and thinks about, did she hear the door open?
Yeah.
And then she falls asleep.
Yeah, exactly. I also did not have Algot planned to be a ghost or anything like that. It came to me during our conversation.
He does come off so worldly.
Yeah.
And when you were like, I've worked for all the other owners, I'm like, how long has this guy been alive?
Yeah, and now I'm like, is he the house? Is he I mean, I don't know. We'll discover in future episodes, but it's all these things are coming to me as we're playing them.
Same, even for Eliza's character. She's already changing in ways. I love it.
I know. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.